Businesses can adopt SD-WAN by either deploying it on-premise or leveraging cloud-based solutions. Key steps in adopting SD-WAN include, but are not limited to, assessment of current network architecture. So you need to understand what is your business need. Why do you need to deploy SD-WAN, and why you want to look into different mode of connectivity. That includes understanding the existing network setup and identify the performance gaps and security challenges that can be solved by SD-WAN. Next comes vendor selection. Now, every popular networking or security company have got a flavor of SD-WAN. Be it Cisco's, be it Palo Alto, Fortinet's, Versa Networks, HPE, VeloCloud from VMware, and many more. So choosing a vendor depends on your requirement, because every vendor provides a different kind of capabilities which can relate to your business or might not relate to your business. It also depends on what kind of architecture you have. So for example, if you're running VMware, there are chances that VMware VeloCloud will work best with your infrastructure. If you are on HPE networking and complete infrastructure, HPE Aruba would be the best choice. Now, if you're looking at something completely different, something completely born as an SD-WAN firm and built on it, you might want to look at Versa Networks. So it completely depends, again, on what kind of vendor you have to choose, but you have to try out, you have to do the pilot or the POCs for multiple vendors to understand what you're looking at. And yeah, last but not the least, if your main concern is about security, you should be looking at Palo Alto or Fortinet's SD-WANs, which integrates very well with their offerings if you have one or the other in your infrastructure as a part of your security posture or framework. So choose a vendor based on the specific needs of the business, such as required security features, ease of management, integration capabilities with the existing infrastructure. Next step would be pilot implementation, or I'd say POC/pilot implementation. Basic difference between a pilot and a proof of concept is completely free, it's for on the limited feature sets, it's for a limited time. A pilot project, on the other hand, is paid. It mostly runs on the full feature stack, and then they deliver the kind of support that they would into a production deployment, because again, it's a paid exercise that you have to do. Recommended is put aside $5,000-$7,000, maybe $10,000, depending on how big of the pilot you want to do, and do that instead of taking time and doing the proof of concept. But again, proof of concepts are amazing as well. Some of the vendors, they provide a full-blown proof of concept, so it depends again on what your business needs are. So starting with the pilot deployment, or to test the SD-WAN solution in a controlled environment, I'd recommend do it in DMZs or somewhere in a completely segregated network. This helps identify the configuration issues, gaps in service offerings, and so on and so forth. Now, the next step would be, once you're good with what SD-WAN is offering, you have chosen a vendor, and you will go through your standard procurement process. After that, you would be able to start the deployment. Now, for the full deployment, there are a few things that you need to look out for, and I would recommend to have a third-party networking consultant, not from the big fours, of course. You don't want to pay a ton of money just to do that, but decent third-party network consultant who can look into the SD-WAN technologies as well as the requirement that you have, and they will be able to recommend you the very best approach based on what your requirements are, because Of course, this does not mean that I'm saying that you don't have qualified networking people. You do. Every organization, they select the very best people to work in their business according to the needs. What I mean to say is, if you have a third-party unbiased networking consultant or networking/security consultant, that's even better, you will be able to get a proper report, stuff that your network team might have missed, because when you talk to the vendor, they would be more aligned to their own product line. So if you're talking to, for example, Palo, and your requirement, Palo Alto, so your requirement is primarily focused on the network and latency and cost savings and whatnot. But Palo Alto team or Fortinet team, or beat anybody, even if I own a company, I do the same. If I'm selling a product, I do the same. Of course, this video is unbiased, but if I'm selling something, I do the exact same. I try to favor my own products, right? So for that reason, you'll only see the best of what they have to offer, but maybe it's not aligning completely to your business needs. So this is something that you need to look into. And having a consultant that is completely unbiased, third party, doesn't belong to your team, doesn't belong to the vendor team, can definitely come in handy for making the right decision. These are the few caveats that you need to look at when you are getting into the deployment, because as per the procurement process, especially in the Middle East region / Qatar, which is my primary market, they have to have 3 different technologies, 3 different companies bidding for the same thing. But really, most of these companies, they don't, sorry, my mic, really offer the same capabilities, because if Palo Alto or Fortinet are fantastic in something, it's not necessary that Cisco would offer you the exact same thing, or Versa might come out and give you the exact same thing based on your requirements. So it all boils down to what you have tested, what you want to do with your initial requirement, and how you plan to meet that. Now, having said that, selecting multiple vendors for the same product is fantastic. Selecting multiple products for the same business requirement, in this case, I'd say don't do it. Again, just a completely unbiased advice. Whatever you select, doesn't matter. Whatever fits your business needs, select that, work with that, but focus on the same technology. It's really easy to get overwhelmed by different feature sets and whatnots, and so most of the companies, they offer the same thing most of the time, but at the same time, they're a little bit weaker and the other companies a little bit stronger, depending on where they're coming from. Networking background, security background, SASE background, or a system integrator or something like that. So after successful testing, proceed with the full deployment across the organization, ensuring that network policies are uniformly applied and that there is minimal disruption to the ongoing operations.